Now, a multi-award winning artist, Berita, is back with her brand new single, Gugulethu, and now it is streaming on all platforms. And this vibrant Afropop anthem celebrates a self-discovery, love, and also cultural pride, reflecting Berita's journey from struggle to strength. Now, it's a reclamation of identity, she says, dedicating the song to her grandmother who raised her and shaped her into the person that she is today. The single features a groovy production and soul-infused vocals, making it a very personal and very powerful track. And Berita joins us this morning. Thank you so much for coming in.
I'm so happy. It's been a long time.
It has, but I'm so happy that you are a morning person.
Yes.
You know, because, and does that stem from Granny's teachings as well?
Definitely. So my grandmother is a farmer, and growing up, we needed to be in the farm very early, like in the garden, very early in the morning. So from then, I've always been a morning person.
Which is absolutely fabulous. So this is just a breeze for you. Berita, you know, looking at your brand new single, Gugulethu, your name is Gugulethu.
My name is Gugulethu. So Berita is actually my mother's name. When I released my first album in 2012, the record label that I used to work with said, Gugulethu, we're not sure if that name can sell records. So they said, go back and come with a new name. And I reflected and I was like, you know, my mother is my pillar of strength. So let me use her name, Berita, as my stage name. But over the years, because I've been in this music industry for a long time, I realized that I kind of tucked away who Gugu was, Gugulethu, and I took on this persona of the artist Berita. So with this song, I took a step back. I spent some time with my grandmother and my parents, and I learned igama lami Gugulethu, which means my treasure, you know, our pride, treasure.
Yeah.
I took that and I was like, actually, this is who I am. At the core, this is who I am.
And of course, it's listening to it, you know,
yes.
It's touchy because
oh yes,
that was what the intention was, to bring out, you know, that sort of self reflection, just digging a little deeper into who you are.
Absolutely. I went through a really difficult time in 2022 and 2023, and that time forced me to reflect. It forced me to spend time at home. And I think during that time, when I reflected on who I was, in the chorus I say, I realized, like when your parents have dreams for you, you're their treasure, you're their gem. It doesn't matter what you go through and what happens in the world. At the end of the day, our parents want the best for us. And I decided to speak to that in the song.
And that's so important. And, you know, just explaining it, the importance of language as well.
Yes.
In how we tell our stories in order to keep them authentic.
I think that's very important. I've always leaned to my authentic roots. I grew up listening to the music of Oliver Mtukudzi, who I had the pleasure to collaborate with, Brahuma Segela, Mire Makeba, Brenda Fassi, and that music was always about our pride as African people. And I think we're seeing it now in all different forms. My form, my artistic form, is soulful, Afro soul, Afro pop, infusing my African language, whether it's Xhosa or Ndebele, or sometimes a little bit of Shona. Sometimes I'll sing in English as well, but definitely I find I express myself better when I sing in my home language.
Mm-hmm. And you speak of collaborations.
Yes.
So you've taken some time and it really gotten into the production side of things of late. And who did you collaborate with on this particular project?
Yes, you know, after 4 albums, I mean, this is, you know, my return since 2020. You know, I've kind of tried different things, and I know what works for me. It's always the guitar. It always starts with the guitar. And on this specific song, I worked with German producers George and Philip. And when I'm in the studio, even if there's a lot of sounds going on, the drums, the keys, I always say, let's mute everything. Let's just have the guitar playing, and then I can sing my heart out to that instrument. I also worked with Bongi Paliti Mantagana on the writing, as well as Manu Worldstar.
And then we had him here a short while ago. So, yeah, looking forward.
talent.
If you haven't yet listened to it, we'll give you, just a sneak peek, and then you can go and listen to a little bit more about this. And then, you speak about this journey and introspection, reflection, identity, and just finding yourself again. As you say, you've been through the ringer, and it's a story that has been quite publicly playing out.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening to this, what would you, as Gugu, want them to take away from this album?
I think with this song, we all have names, we all have stories, we all have identities. I'm a public person, and perhaps I've gone through public stuff, but I think my story, I've spoken to so many women that have gone through some of the challenges that I've gone through, and I think I would hope when someone listens to this song, they take a moment to reflect on their own story and on their own journey. Perhaps some of this comes from the fact that I am also studying my MBA at the Gordon Institute of Business Science, University of Pretoria. So with this leadership course that I'm currently doing, you really get to go deeper within yourself. And I've also learned that we are very layered as human beings, but it starts with accepting who you are. I'm someone who gets to perform on stage, whether it's intimate audiences, whether it's the Joy of Jazz, which I'm performing it this September, but I get to bring who I am. And I think for me it was important to just tell my story and hopefully inspire someone else to say, hey, you can go through all these different things, but you are still at the core who you are, and you can celebrate that. And with the song, I am celebrating who I am.
Oh, I love it. And I think that's a good note on which to pause before you perform for us. So I can't wait to hear this. And as, Berita, and I love that, your mom's name, but Ukuku is coming to the fore now in this particular song, just reclaiming who you are, what you were named, and we're going to listen to that right after this.